738-419, símbolo numeral. Por favor, le agradecemos a todos los participantes en la línea de español mantener sus teléfonos en silencio para evitar el ruido de fondo y así poder garantizar la calidad de sonido para todos los participantes en la línea de interpretación. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Mandarin interpretation, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
OK，各位家长晚上好。若需要国语翻译的，请打专线电话347-966-4114，密码是593-080-702。输入密码后，请再按井字。在右边的聊天室，我会再一次输入电话号码以及密码 ID。请家长们进入后按星6静音。若有任何登录的问题，请在聊天室留言。谢谢。Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. On our next order of business, do we have a council member that will volunteer to be our timekeeper for tonight? If not,
John said he would do it.
You can speak on here.
John, you speak. I can speak on this stuff.
Yeah, just project your voice.
Okay, I'm volunteering.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John has volunteered to be timekeeper. Just joking, keeping it light. Thank you, John. So we will move forward. The agenda has been distributed. Are there any amendments for the agenda? If there is no objection, the agenda is adopted. My mind is in several places. So our first order of business, we will move into our committee meeting updates. And we have several of them tonight. I will start with our outreach committee. We were able to work with the Include NYC Fair recently. I would like to speak to, one moment, the numbers and how many people we actually were able to work with. I want to say thank you to Recording Secretary Burton and to Co-President Daniels for showing up. The three of us diligently worked with multiple members that came to the booth. From Include New York, there were 1,010 individual viewers, 671 adults, 339 young people, 7,055 visits throughout the event. We are still waiting for our specific numbers, but we were able to help parents on multiple levels, be it from busing to resources to different things that they may have needed with their children with District 75. So we were very happy to be able to be of assistance in that manner. We will make sure to have the additional updates sent to the council so that you may know individually which parents we helped and how from our intake list. Secondarily, we do have an outreach meeting that will be happening on March 13th, if I'm correct. Give me one moment. Thursday, March 14th. Haylene, don't kill me.
March 13th, Wednesday.
It is the 13th. Do you have the flyer available? I forgive me. One moment, let me see. I don't want to say the incorrect thing here. Well, I'll circle back to that in the case of time, but we do have a transition and outreach meeting for our students for District 75 at 6 p.m. on March 14th. I will circle back and put that into the chat so that you are able to see the flyer, share that, and sign up to be able to get information and resources of that nature. Additionally, we will be talking about the awards dinner that will be taking place in June. So we will walk through the bids that we have for the purchase orders for that later on in our next bullet point. So that would be the follow-ups for outreach. In regard to the annual report committee, we have not yet sent the surveys out. We do have our bids that we will look over with the purchase orders. We pretty much are set. Our writer from last year is willing to work with us with the contingency issues that we have within our budget. So far, what we do need to discuss, which was emailed to the different council members. I'm not sure if that went out with our tasks, but for the annual report, there are several items that we want to be able to assist our writer in topics. If we're talking about inclusion, if we're talking about COVID, as you may or may not know, we're about one report behind because we were missing a little bit of data, but we want to be able to compare and contrast, you know, what happened with related services, what's happening with busing, what happened with a lot of different things post-COVID. So we want to make sure that the points that we are discussing, let me see if I can bump this back up to you guys. Annual report, action items. One moment. I want it. Do you have the toolkit ready and available, or do you need me to pull it up? Haylene, if you don't, I'm looking right now for it.
Which toolkit? Which one?
The writer toolkit, because I wanted to go back through the topics that we sent to the council to make sure we can narrow this down for the writer so that they can begin. If we can't narrow it down, we can move that back into committee and then try to move from there. As long as we get our writer tonight, that's fine. But I really did want to pull these issues in front of the council so that we can speak upon what we are looking to target as pieces in the report. Hold on.
Oh, he has it turned on. John Herman.
Looks good. You want me to
Please.
in the chat or go to share?
You can read through it if you want to read through what those topics are, and then we can walk through them.
Okay. I have 11 topics, and I think we want to pick 6.
Yes.
Okay, and people can, if they have a different topic, I guess that's also open, open as well. So I'm just going to read through the 11 that were on this toolkit. COVID-19 response, recovery services, busing and transportation, social, mental, and emotional health, which includes healing ambassadors, healing centered schools, services available, etc. That's 4. 5th was the modalities of instruction that were used during the school year, in person, remote, hybrid, and any program adjustments made. The 6th possible topic I may need help with co-president in terms of interpreting. Fiscal year include AIS, PBIS. What is that? Do you know what that refers to?
I honestly would be, if I'm telling you last minute, I know PBIS is when we're talking about the point systems and things when it comes to metrics with earning tokens, etc. I would have to look up the acronym. I would not want to mislead you right now.
Parent and family empowerment, safety, accountability, day treatment and intensive day, and college and career readiness. So those are the topics that have been listed as possible.
Do we have any topics that we want to take out of what we're looking at? Do we have any topics that we want to keep at the forefront? I know recovery services, we didn't really talk about. There's a lot of items that we, in full transparency, that we did not get to talk about after we did the report. So as a council, do we want to make sure that we compare and contrast with this report about how well our district did with COVID-19 response, with recovery services? We definitely need to keep busing and transportation. We have the survey that can support that with our data. The modalities of instruction, considering what's happening with our snow days, remote learning, and what is going on fully with all children, I think that we should still look at what's happening with those modalities of instruction and how they're being implemented and how they were implemented. Realistically, if the council says we want to keep all 11 points, we can keep all 11 points. If there's something that we do not feel that we don't want to follow up on, then we can drop something from this list. I'm not necessarily seeing what we should drop, but if we could possibly say what we want to highlight as the 6 key areas, that would be good. Does anybody have any ideas of what they would like to see kept at the top?
I would add, keep social, mental, and emotional health on the list, and
So PBIS is positive behavioral interventions and supports. Honestly, with the sector of children that we do have, I think it would be important for us to make sure that we are going over that and seeing how it works and how that works with our fiscal year and the supports that we have for the children there. I feel like maybe the COVID-19 and the recovery services could maybe be 2 of the lesser points. We should still talk about them, but if we're really going deep into what's going on right now, I would say busing, social emotional, modalities of instruction, the fiscal year, because we should talk about the budget, parent and family empowerment, because we do want to speak about how our families are being engaged, safety, and then career and college readiness, and maybe we move day treatment and accountability down. So there are 2nd tier of items that are included. Christy, I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, I was just gonna add my input on a few of these. So sorry, my daughter's having a rough night. So maybe for COVID response, maybe we should like change that to something more broad,
Okay.
like as far as, because it's more than just COVID at this point, right? We have like a lot of different illnesses in our schools. I don't know if it's just my schools, but there's like strep and all these other sort of hygiene kind of things. So maybe broadening that to like a response to, I'm trying to think of a word. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to say illness or like
We can note it.
hygiene, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so we can note it as to broaden that topic, Christy. If we can't expand on it now, we can always vote to broaden the topic and then move forward and keep it in that manner, but to add the additional spaces that you want.
Yeah. And then I would just also say what I think is really important, another one to keep kind of at the top is the remote instruction and what the plans are going forward with that.
Okay, the modalities of instruction.
Yeah, because, you know, at this point, we've been told there are no snow days, so it's kind of going to be a regular thing. That's what a lot of this year has been about, preparing for remote instruction. I feel like it's something
Okay.
we need to tackle.
Okay. We're going to keep busing and transportation. Does anyone else have anything else that they're looking on the list to bump up to our top 6? Safety. Especially when we're looking at, you know, our new doors that are, you know, that are going to be locked in the schools, how the children are going to be safe, what their safety responses are, and how we're pivoting. I think that should always be a readily available piece so that parents know what's going on safety-wise. Members, what are your thoughts there?
I think safety is a good one.
Okay, so then the next one that I will, go ahead. Were you, oh, I missed it. Did you finish speaking, Shanique, or did you have something else you were adding?
No.
Okay. So do we want to add the fiscal year, or parent safety, parent involvement, fiscal year. In that order. I feel like, and then we can bump, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be the pandemic response broadened, modalities of instruction, busing and transportation, parent and family engagement, safety, and discussion about the fiscal year as the top 6 things that we're going to talk about, with leaving space for the additional 4 items, which would be the accountability, inclusion, day treatments, and college and career readiness.
Sorry, speaking to my computer or just?
I can hear you clearly, John.
Okay. We skipped back, past social emotional health.
Mm,
I don't know if others agree, like probably prioritize it over parent family empowerment, which is also important. If we had to choose, I'd rather.
I agree with you. Okay. So we're moving to social emotional. And then we bump the family engagement down to 4. So what we have here would be pandemic response, broaden, modalities of instruction, busing and transportation, social emotional, safety, and fiscal as our top 6 items that we will be requesting our writer to focus on, in addition to the annual report documents and statements and data. Do we want to do we have a motion to vote on those topics as our main 6 topics for the report?
I will move to vote on those 6 topics, as just reported by the president.
Do we have a second?
That's second.
Is there any debate? If not, we are motioning for the following topics following 6 topics to be the main points of our annual report: pandemic response to be broadened, modalities of instruction, busing and transportation, social and emotional, safety, and our fiscal year. Haleen, can you give us a roll call, please?
Sure. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Brisa Aria, Jamaica Collins. No. You don't wanna vote on it? Abstain, okay. Andrea Daniels. Present. Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shanique Johnson. Yes. John Herman,
Yes.
Vanessa Borrero. Yes. All right, 6 votes for yes, motion passed.
I know we are in the annual report. There was one more update that we do want to walk through. And that kind of links into the legislative breakfast. So let's actually leave that together and we'll work through the purchase orders currently. So the ones that we have walking through, thank you to the district. First of all, they are assisting us in creating the food that will be available at our Chancellor's Town Hall. So we were able to have a little space of room to breathe with our budget for that. So we appreciate the assistance. So the 2 items that we will be voting on tonight will be for our annual awards dinner, the caterer who will create the food for that event. We do have to have all of our invoices or purchase orders in before March 8th, or we will lose access to that line item in the budget. So with that being said, we want to move into firstly our annual report writer. In transparency, Haleen and I have been working diligently trying to get bids. Also, public advocate John Hammerman has also assisted us in that as well. So what we have found out is we are extremely under budget. Right now, we are working with $1,200 to do our annual report. One of the bids that we did get today started between $25,000 up to $1.2 million, which that prices us completely out. We have had another bid, excuse me, we didn't get another bid. We've had people tell us that they do not do annual reports. As far as writing is concerned, they only do the graphics. What we do have, if we are able to pull up Dr. Burton's bid, our writer from last year does not want our council to be left without a writer. And she is willing to work with us at the price point that we do have to make sure that we can do what we need to do for our district. With that being said, we can see our annual report on ccd75.org, but I would like to pull up her bio and information. Give me one moment. Nope, that's not end of the year, isn't it? 1 second. Yes, this is it. Okay. All right, I will share. So this is what we used from last year outside of the actual report that you guys can physically see. I want to introduce Dr. Burton to those of you who may be new to the council. She is the owner of Gold Educational Services. They are committed to helping parents, teachers, and schools advocate for the unique learning style of every child. Dr. Burton also is a parent of a child with special needs. She has a young daughter that does have Down syndrome. So she's very aware of a lot of the things that we go through as parents and as educators. Goal Educational is a national education consulting firm that provides professional development, coaching, and strategic planning to parents, teachers, and school districts. About Dr. Burton. Dr. Burton is a lifelong educator who has spent the past 20 plus years working and serving students, parents, and staff in the public education sector throughout various communities in Texas, Indiana, and California, and as recently as New York, as she did write our last report. Dr. Burton is passionate about mitigating the opportunities, gaps by facilitating courageous conversations and serving as a change agent with schools, teachers, administrators, and families to ensure equity, diversity, and inclusion. As a parent of a child with Down syndrome, Dr. Burton is dedicated to educating all audiences about students with disabilities and their ability to achieve in the least restrictive environment. She's excited about being a parent advocate for the clients of Bloom Lounge. This sensory-friendly spa and salon will be a great asset to the community. Currently, Dr. Burton is serving as a district administrator for Los Angeles Unified School District as a member of the LAUSD Local District Central LDC administrative team. She is the AG Intervention Coordinator, where she provides instructional support for all schools in LDC. She is the founder of CEO of Goal Educational Services. She also has a doctorate in education, and we do have her thesis on file if council members would like to see her writing submission that was submitted prior to her writing last year. So in this document, she talks about what will be reviewed in the report, the information of District 75, autism spectrum disorders, significant cognitive delays, emotional disturbances, sensory impairments, multiple disabilities. She talks about the instructional supports and what we will need for all 5 boroughs. One thing we loved about Dr. Burton is that she did express the glows and the grows for our district. So we made sure to show where we glowed and where we could add recommendations to grow. So these are the different types of items that were included in our report last year. Again, you can see that full report and document on ccd75.org. It is on our homepage. And these are the modalities that we were speaking about and the different options that we did cover last year, which we did go ahead and vote for this year. So with that being said, let me move back up. Does anyone want to look back over the bio, or is it okay if I stop screen sharing at this moment? Okay. With that being said, we definitely have only one vendor, which would be Dr. Burton, that would be willing to allow us to work within our budget. We have been priced out by the additional vendors. So in order to move forward so that we can allow Dr. Burton to start the process of writing the report, we would need to make a motion to vote for Dr. Burton to be our annual report writer. Do we have a motion for Dr. Burton to be our annual report writer?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Do we have any debate? If there is no debate, Haleen, may we have a roll call vote?
Sure, for Dr. Burton to be the annual report writer, Christy Angel,
Yes.
Teresa Aria, Jamaica Collins,
Yes.
Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shanique Johnson. Yes. John Herman,
Yes.
Vanessa Bojero. Yes. Okay. 7 votes for yes, motion passed.
Okay, our next order of business will be the last purchase order that we need to discuss, and this is for our annual awards dinner. We're trying to have at least a vote where we have a menu for 70 people, or we have a menu for 150 people. Seeing that this is the only event at this point that will be using the budget, I would love if we could use 150 people to celebrate our teachers, our students, District 75 staff, and different stakeholders for what they've done and how they've worked with us collaboratively this year. With that being said, Haleen, can I ask for help? Don't kill me. I want to share in Teams. I want to pull up the bid from last year that we're duplicating from Susan's Kitchen. If I can.
Got it.
Hold on, if I can airdrop this, I might be able to share. 1 second. I think I got it. 1 moment.
Oh, so stop sharing that?
Oh wait, if you have it, we'll move it what you have. No. So this is what we would duplicate bid-wise. Year before last with Susan's Kitchen, if we scroll down to the buffet, under the items for lunch buffet, we were only given an option of 3 items at $14.25 for, this is just for 70 people. And it was chicken marsala as a main dish, curry vegetable stew, beef stew, and all of the options came with basmati rice, vegetables, salad, rolls, and a cookie pack. And that came up to $1,047.50. When it came to BK2PR, which is who we used last year, we've been reaching out to a lot of people and have been unable to get a lot of options, but the 2 that we're presenting are the ones that we're going to try to vote on this year. BK2PR has an extensive menu, and even though what we will be sharing with you today is what the menu is, we do have the option to fluctuate on the items that we have present for the parents. We just need to lock in the purchase order and the amount, so we can always move a little bit differently in that regard. Does anyone have any questions in regard to the food items or anything regarding Susan's Kitchen?
I remember this from last year, so I don't have no question.
Okay, so then let me see if I can share this. So then we'll walk through the next item, which is BK2PR. Second. And this is for 150 guests. So this is at our top end. And in duplicating our menu from last year, which we can actually have a little bit more flexibility, this invoice is a little bit more, it's $2,750. It's for double the amount of the last invoice as a top out. We have yellow rice, pigeon peas, mac and cheese, cheese baked ziti, candied yams, baked cheese, Italian meatballs and marinara sauce, salmon con illo y limon, house salad, and mixed vegetables. So we are able, they have a very extensive menu. There's about 5 different menus that we can work with to narrow down for 150 people, and it will still be at this price point. The only thing that we would have to consider is that we would need to order drinks and other things of that nature from Shop DOE through our P card to make sure that we have enough beverages there. So this is the menu for 150 people. Again, that is $2,750. We have a budget line of $3,000 for parent involvement. Let me pull up the lower end just to, one moment. There's 2. Yes. Okay. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I believe this is the one for 70. Yes, for 70 on the lower end, which would be similar to what Susan's Kitchen did for 70 guests with the same menu that we just went through. This would be, sorry, I can't see my screen. $1,390. So in order to, I believe, effectively use our budget and to work and reward with more parents for what we want to do in this space, I think that we should use these monies toward BK2PR so that we can have a more extensive menu and be able to accommodate more parents at a price point that works within our budget. Does anyone have any thoughts regarding Susan's Kitchen or BK2PR for the awards dinner? If not, I would like to move, just in case, to cover ourselves, because we do have to vote for this before the 8th, that we have Susan's Kitchen, not Susan's Kitchen, excuse me, BK2PR as our main vendor and Susan's Kitchen as a backup in case anything does not go correctly with vendor number 1, which would be BK2PR for our awards dinner. I know that was kind of wordy, so I'll state it again. I'm looking to move to have BK2PR as our main vendor for the June awards dinner with Susan's Kitchen as a secondary backup. Do we have a motion?
I'll move.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any debate? Seeing none, may we have a roll call vote?
Okay, the motion is to use BK2PR as catering for the beer event and using Susan's Kitchen as a backup. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Risa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Yes.
Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shanique Johnson.
Yes, but.
I'm so sorry, yes, I apologize. John Herman,
Yes.
Vanessa Bojero,
Yes.
okay, 7 votes for yes, motion passed.
Thank you. Our next item of business that we're moving to is the action plan for the legislative breakfast. Chair Butler, did you want to speak on anything first before I add it a little bit in? I'll give the floor to you.
Hello.
Would you like me to?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Guys, I'm gonna reach out. We need to reach out to a lot of people and make some phone calls. We do know the President Council do have their legislative breakfast tomorrow. So that kind of give us a window of really trying to get them to come to ours. So I really need the support of the council here, so we can try to call these people and see if we can get them to come to Ivan.
I already told, co-president Christy Angel that I would help with the phone calls. I don't know about anyone else.
Okay, thank you, Recording Secretary and Chair Butler and Co-President Daniels. Right now, what I'm looking at is you, myself, and Chair Butler to make the phone calls. Friday, a lot of legislators are not in office. So if we can make a plan of action to sporadically, whatever time works for people on tomorrow, to make calls. I was unable to send out a specific list for us to get rolling. We do have our principals. All 30 principals have been invited this year. We are looking to have 40 legislators and principals in addition to students and any other stakeholders that we can invite. We do want to make sure that we include our partners from President's Council and from any other spaces that we do want to make sure are working collaboratively with us. Again, we want to make sure that from this week forward, every week we are reaching out to our legislators to make sure that we have our city council members, our senators, and assembly members that can be in attendance. Don't be scared if you guys are scared of what the phone calls look like. There is a literal script for any and every possible answer or question that you may be given. And you can follow that, leave a message, leave that information, or just let us know where to pick up and if things are confirmed. I'll try to go through if I have time tonight and update what I can for Chair Butler so that she can let you guys know how to move forward for that meeting. Since I did mention that the district is helping us with the district is helping us with the food and beverages for a continental breakfast for the legislative breakfast as well. The ask is that we will need members to help set up the self-serve table and to set up the registration table and things of that nature. So if anyone who is able to come to Tweed earlier in the morning, maybe about 8 o'clock or so, to help Chair Butler, and I know Co-President Daniels has stated that she would help as well. If we could have any members that would like to assist, if we have any parents that are on the call and you would like to join the legislative committee, you may do that. And you may also assist with this particular meeting and be present. We would just need you to email us at d75council@schools.nyc.gov so that we can funnel you to Chair Butler and make sure that you can be used appropriately. I know that our AA, who is wonderful, Haleen, will be present and on site, and she will be able to assist us as well, but we will need her in a lot of different capacities. So if we do have any additional, yes? If we do have any additional bodies who will be willing to be earlier there to help set up, we would appreciate, please do let us know if you can't speak on that today.
What time we have to be there?
We have the room from 7:30, I believe, to, is it 7:30 to 11:30, Haleen?
Yes.
7:30 to 11:30.
7:30 is the earliest, okay.
It's the
Yes.
earliest. Yeah.
The breakfast starts
Breakfast at
at
9,
9 or 10.
9,
Or
10.
9.
It starts at, it's 9. It should be 9. It should be 9:30 to 11. So 8:30 to 9:30 should be when they're actually eating. 9:30 to 11 should be the actual meeting. So originally we had the time a little top heavy at the top because we were having food delivered and having it set up, etc. So that may still be the need, but we can find out. I don't want to have members up that early if we don't have to have you there that early. So we'll find out when you might actually be needed on site. Is there any other aspect that we need to discuss, Chair Butler?
No.
Okay, if not, we can move on to the CCD 75 vacancies. We have sent out, is there anything, Co-President Daniels? I don't want to skip over anything.
No, Haley was just telling me something about Friday about the meeting Friday, the legislative breakfast past President's Council. She was just telling me something, that's all.
Okay. So for the CCD 75 vacancies, we haven't heard anything back from FACE in regard to who might have applied. I do have one young lady who is very fiery and willing to do a lot of work and is able to be present and has submitted an application on today. Our applications will be closing on the 19th. So if we can put a push out, if we can talk to people in our different schools, people that you may know who would be a great fit for the council and willing to interview, please do put that information out and have them respond to the council at d75council@schools.nyc.gov. We'll make sure to get them the application and get the information over to FACE so that we can interview them accordingly and hopefully have a fuller council before our next meeting on April. Additionally,
Excuse me, Co-President Christie Angel, did we find out any information about the other public advocate appointee?
Yes. So we did speak with Elizabeth Kennedy, and our next appointee should be here hopefully before the 20th. I know the last time we checked in that there was someone that was set to go that was hopefully going to be here for the 6th, but I believe for our calendar meeting, we will be set. We do have the individual that has been vetted and approved. We just need to find out and make sure that they're okay to start for our calendar meeting. And once we do that, we will have only one vacancy left, and that will be for what we will hopefully try to have a meeting for before our April business meeting, if possible. We'll reach out to council. Say it again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll reach out to council members online for that. Our next order of business, voting on new locations for April 3rd and June 12th for upcoming CCD 75 meetings. Ms. Montalvan, can I ask a question of you? I know originally before when we were having issues with getting quorum, we had a couple of ideas of which boroughs we were going to land in. Do you still have the boroughs for April or for June?
I can pull it up. Just give me a second. We might not have picked any, but I'm gonna pull it
Okay.
up and see if I can find it. So just give me a couple minutes.
Okay, thank you. And while she's looking, council members, just in case it was not made known, as a citywide council for our calendar meetings, we actually do go to each individual.
Co-President Christie Angel, I just got a text from a principal. They said they could host us at one of the schools.
Perfect.
On Syracuse School for the Bronx.
Okay.
I guess any date is good, I don't know, but he heard us, so he said he could host us.
Okay, so then that could be for one of the Manhattan dates, and then we can do for 4-3, do we want to collectively make that a Brooklyn date, Manhattan? Does anyone have a feeling about which borough they would prefer to be in for this meeting that will be in person, that will not be at Tweed or at 400 First Avenue?
Brisbane John Syracuse just said that any day is fine, so it's up to us for the Bronx one.
Okay, so do we want to put John Syracuse to school for 4-3, and then we come back and table the school for 6-12?
He said any day, so I'm sure that's fine.
Okay.
From the council members.
How do council members feel about that? About our 4-3 meeting being in the Bronx at one of the locations for Principal Syracuse's school? We can try to figure out which school may be more reasonably sound for. I'm
He said
sorry.
4-3.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, Co-President.
He said that April 3rd is great. He texted my phone.
Okay, council members, do we have a consensus? Is everyone okay to work with the school in the Bronx with Principal Syracuse for the April 3rd date, and then we will table and come back to 6-12?
Yep.
Okay, Haleen, then we'll go ahead and work with the district and Principal Syracuse to make sure we have the permits and what we need for the meeting for 4-12, and we will postpone the discussion for 6-12 for our next calendar meeting.
Okay, so the meeting's 4-3, correct?
Yes,
Sorry, I just had one suggestion.
yes.
4-3 is a joint meeting. Don't we usually have those at like a central location because they're so long? I'm just concerned because we're only having one meeting in
If
April.
if that's the case, I can hear that, and we can let Syracuse's school be for 6-12, keep the joint meeting at Tweed. That makes more sense for us as a body. Okay, I hear that. Does anyone else have any feedback for Councilmember Montalban in regard to what she stated?
Hey, Lee has something to say.
I'm sorry, the reason for this change is because Tweed is unavailable on 4-3. So it would have to be at another
At
location.
400 First Avenue?
That's perfectly fine if the space is available, I'm sure it is.
Okay, okay. So then we all are looking at 400 First Avenue for our April 3rd meeting, and Principal Syracuse's school to be determined for June 12th.
Just text them that, looks good.
Okay. Can we have a motion that our April 3rd meeting stay at Tweed, June 12th be at Principal John Syracuse's school to be determined?
Yeah. Sorry.
I think April 3rd would be 400 First Avenue.
400, thank you, 400.
Yeah.
The motion would be amended to April 3rd joint meeting at 400 First Avenue, and our June 12th meeting to be determined at a school with Principal Syracuse in the Bronx. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Is there any additional debate? If not, can we have a vote, please, Ms. Haleen?
So the motion is to have the joint meeting on 4-3 at 400 First Avenue, and the 6-12 meeting at John Syracuse building.
In the Bronx, yes.
Okay, Christy Angel,
Yes.
Risa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Yes.
Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shani Butler,
Yes.
John Herman, he stepped out, Vanessa Bovero.
Yes.
All right, 6 votes for yes, motion passed.
Excuse me, Co-President Christy Angel and council members, John Syracuse said he's gonna have dinner for us, his treat, on June 12th.
Nice. Thank you, Principal Syracuse. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
My phone, okay.
We said that Mr. Herman is out. We'll come back to that. We are going to put a vote up for Mr. Herman to run for treasurer. But while we're waiting for him to come back, we'll talk about member reimbursements. Guys, we want to make sure that the work that you're doing and the things that you're doing is reimbursed, your travel and things of that nature. So if you have any forms that can be signed tonight, where Haleen can make sure to process that for you so that you can have your funds for your travel, et cetera, reimbursed back to you, please make sure to fill those out tonight. We have Co-President Daniels there. She can sign off on those and make sure that we get that moving within this week. If you need,
Do it tonight, or email us if you can't do it tonight.
yes, email us if you can't do it tonight. And as always, if you have any questions or need any additional help, we do have Haleen available and myself to help you as well. Back to our agenda. John Herman has placed himself up for treasurer of our council. Thank you for being willing to serve. Are you still willing to do so, Mr. Herman?
I am.
Awesome. With that being said, can we have a motion that we vote for Mr. Herman to be treasurer of CCD 75?
I make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Is there any debate? Seeing no debate, if we can have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Haleen?
Okay, the vote is to vote on Councilmember John Herman to be CCD 75 treasurer.
Yes.
Christy Angel,
Yes.
Lisa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Yes.
Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shanique Butler,
Yeah.
John Herman,
Yes.
Vanessa Borrero,
Yes.
7 votes for yes, motion passed. Congratulations.
Our next order, oh yes, congratulations to Mr. Herman. Thank you for being willing to be our treasurer and for stepping forward into that space. Our next order of business is to go into executive session regarding member absences. If we can have a motion to go into executive session.
I motion to go into executive session.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. I don't think we necessarily need to vote. Do we want to vote to go into executive session, or are we all in the same mind that we can move
I
into?
think you have to do a roll call every time.
Let's
Right.
roll call vote. Okay, that's fine. Instead of doing a consensus, that's fine. Can we do a roll call vote to go into executive session, please?
Okay, to go into executive session, Christy Angel,
Yes.
Teresa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Abstain.
Andrea Daniels,
Yes.
Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shanique Johnson,
Yes.
John I'm so sorry. Gosh, I gotta scratch that name out. John Herman,
Yes.
Vanessa Borrero.
Yes.
All right, 6 for yes, motion passed.
If we can move everyone into a breakout room, we will be back shortly to the main session. Haleen, can you add me to the breakout room? It's not letting me assign myself.
All right, do you see it now?
Yeah.
All right, I see a few people in.
Did I leave anyone out?
Yeah, you left.
Yes. Oh, Shanique Butler. Shanique right here.
That who's muted?
Thank you guys for waiting for us while we have come back from session. Members are coming back now. Co-President Daniels, are you able to get AA Verdejo to bring her back into the room? Or Councilmember Butler, can someone, I don't see her on camera yet. Are we, is Haleen back in the room? Any council member, yes, no? Co-President Daniels, can you hear me?
Hello?
Is Haleen back in the room?
Hello?
Is Haleen back in the room? Christy Montalban, can anyone hear me speaking right now?
I can hear you.
Is Haleen back in the main room? Do we know if she's back in the main room?
Yeah, she is. She is.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So let me slow down. Haleen, we're gonna go ahead and put on the record, we're gonna vote for Councilmember Collins' absences for December and January calendar meeting. Is Haleen back in space and ready?
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties.
Can't hear you on the big screen. I think.
I mean, my photo.
It's okay.
It's okay if we
Screen,
bring,
it's a little bit of
a little bit of.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we want to go back into we're in the main session, so we're gonna cancel out their breakout rooms. Everyone should be out of those by now.
All right, we're good.
Okay, perfect. Can we get a motion to vote on excusing the 2 absences for Councilmember Collins for December and January's calendar meetings due to the excuse submitted? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any further debate? If not, Haleen, can we do a roll call vote, please?
Yes. The item is to vote, Councilmember Jamaica Collins' absences in December and January to be excused. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Risa Arias, Jamaica Collins,
Yeah.
Andrea Daniels,
Abstain.
Christy Montalban,
Yes.
Shanique Johnson,
Yes.
John Herman,
President. We not have enough votes.
no, yes,
I'll abstain, sorry. But I mean, if we need it, I feel like I should abstain, but I can.
No, you do what, if you wanna abstain, that's on you.
Okay.
Yeah, do you wanna abstain?
I'd like us to have 6 votes, yeah, we abstain, but I'm good at that. I'll vote yes, it's Fine.
Okay, you vote yes. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we have 5 votes for yes, the motion did not pass. Oh, I didn't call you, I'm so sorry, and Vanessa Bojero.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, 7 votes for yes, motion passed. 6 votes for yes, sorry, so sorry, it's been a long day.
Okay, moving into the last 2 items of our agenda. Our budget, we are going to have a presentation. The central office has been doing different budget presentations so that parents can know how the different budgets are worked out and how the pieces fit together. We are going to have the privilege of our senior grants officer coming on our calendar meeting on the 20th to work through how the District 75 budget is created, so that we can all know what that looks like, so that we are able to move forward in the future for any spaces that may need the budget, and we're clear about that. Additionally, we want to talk about our town hall meeting. We're going to be meeting with the chancellor on March 18th. I know a lot of us have a lot of difficulties meeting in person, and I know it's a lot for me to be asking, but this is one of the dates where we need everyone to show up. You guys are voted in by your constituency. Your voice matters for us and for other people. If there are any questions that council members want to submit to the chancellor, please put those in an email so we can submit those to our FACE representatives so that the chancellor and the district can be ready for that. We did have a walkthrough with FACE and with our AA, so we are set in that degree. We do have ASL interpretations, and we have, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but we have a pretty large number of people who have already RSVP'd online and in person. So we want to do our due diligence to make sure that we step forward, we are present, and we are there for this meeting at 6 p.m. on March 18th. We also do have a run through on, I believe it's this Friday. Jose sent to us. I will bump that back up to the council. So any members who want to be online, you have the option of asking questions out loud at the town hall and being verbally involved. We would like you to come to the meeting, see how the show will run, and then see what you will be asking, etc. I will bump that back up so you guys are aware and you can attend. If you do not attend, we will still make sure to give you the information that you need to move forward in person on the 18th. Does anyone have any questions regarding the town hall? Is there any level of unfinished business that anyone wants to bring to the table, or any new business that we need to discuss? If there is no new business or unfinished business, we will go ahead and release our interpreters for 7:58 p.m. And if there is no objection, we will adjourn our meeting for tonight. Are there any objections? If not, we will call this meeting adjourned at 7:59 p.m. Thank you very much for your attendance and for being a part of this meeting. Thank you, council members, for showing up, for your feedback, and for the work that you're doing. And we will see you online, in addition to making sure you have the additional information we discussed tonight. As for the other parents and members that are on the call, again, our next meeting is March 20th. We'll make sure to get that flyer out with the information to you guys shortly, or you may also sign up at ccd75.org. Thank you and good night, and everyone, please do get home safely.